G'day viewers, it's Michael here again and welcome back to SingleRacer. And welcome back to part 2 of my SingleRacer Special Edition Skins series over 2 parts. Now in the last video I talked about a livery that was done for me by the channel Unknown Egg, and it was quite a surprise and a bit of a shock because I wasn't expecting it. But for those of you that are long-term subscribers, you might be aware that I have 3 favourite cars that I generally race online, and they are the KTM Crossbow, the Ferrari 458, and especially this one here, the Lotus 49, that I consider my favourite car or my favourite sim racing car of all time. But the difference between this one and the Unknown Egg livery is I wasn't expecting the Unknown Egg livery because it was just unplanned. But this was, shall we say, a custom order. And let me say, using an Australian expression, I was a pain in the ass when it came to this with poor old HumbleGeorge, who spent hours and hours, and I didn't realise how much time he spent on it. And I'm forever grateful. So rather than show you just here in the showroom, let me now go on to the track itself and show you in a bit more detail about this truly custom car. Okay folks, so here we are on the Monza 66 Classic track, the extended version, the one with the banking, at the request of HumbleGeorge, who asked me to test this car out and see what time I could do. Now, this is a fully custom car in the sense of it's been Humblized, shall I put it that way. It's got much higher output than normal. It's even got an awesome but different engine sound from a BMW of some sort. And the reason that I said that I was a pain in the ass when I asked Humble to do this car was because he made the mistake in a video, and I'll have a link to that video of when he first put it together, of showing me 3 different versions of the car, and they all had a different thing. So when the video started out, it had this the green stripe that you see, green and yellow stripe at the front on the nose there, and I said to Humble, no, can I please keep that in the black finish there you've got on the front of the car? And then as I go around, another version, my version had red leads on the engine there, and I said, oh no, in the second version you got the green leads, can I have that please, can I have that? And then he made the mistake on the third version of showing the red trumpets there on the motor, and I go, oh no, with the green leads that looks awesome, please can I have that as well? Now he even went to the trouble, and again I didn't realise just how much work you need to put into this, but he now has a series of videos that talks about how to do this stuff, so if you're interested please check that out. But on this car there is a pipe. You probably can't see my mouse here, but it runs along the side of the car there. You might see the lettering of the racer bit coming out over the pipe, and it originally was a black pipe covering that, and he went to the great detail of making sure that the writing fit over that pipe, which is not on the other side there. But he did such a fantastic job, and you know, I'm just so impressed by this particular customized car, or Humblized car is probably the better way to put it, and just so proud to show it off now. Now, he even did a custom wheel inside, so let me just go, as I bank around here, let me just go inside there. Now you can't see the wheel, I'll show you that. What I'll do is I'll do a hot lap, and I'll do an external camera replay so you can get to see the different views of the car, and then for the sake of HumbleGeorge, I'll do a hot lap in VR but with commentary to describe how I approached the hot lap and the time I ended up doing. But if we go back out to the car, one thing that, because he had a lot of great ideas, and one of them was the green wheels that you see here, and I said originally, no, if I could I please have chrome wheels? And it's funny that in your head you think that will look better, but it's like going, or it's actually not like going into a showroom when you order a new car and you're saying, you know what, I think the red on that car would look better, but you never get to see it. So then when you see it in person, you go, oh, hang on a sec, the blue or the grey or whatever other colour does look better. But the key thing that made me stick with the green wheels was, if I show you here, if I just put it in gear and take off, is as you build up the speed, the centre bit in the wheel actually disappears, and I go, oh, that looks great. See, so as I slow down again, you see it, but then it disappears, and I go, nah, the black car with the black centre there, but the green wheel looks awesome. And I have to say that Humble also suggested to me that, oh, you know, this BMW sound that he got from some other car, and you can always ask him where he got it from, but he said this will be awesome. But again, I didn't hear it or see it, and it was a case of, oh, no, I really like the Lotus 49 engine sound. It's my favourite car, so I identify with that sound. But the one thing that I didn't get to understand was that the BMW engine sound that he replaced it with has a Lotus 49 classic feel to it. And I have to say that when I heard it, it's one of the best engine sounds that I've heard ever on a car. So I'll show this off now. We'll go for a couple of hot laps, or the same hot lap but just in different views, and I hope you like it. So this is Michael signing out for let me check the car again. That's right, SingleRacer. So this is Michael signing out for SingleRacer. I'll catch you next time. See you later, and let's go Humblized hot lapping. Okay viewers, so here we are about to do a hot lap of Monza 66, and here's the example of the brilliant wheel that HumbleGeorge did. And I've got to stress again, this is a totally customized version of the Lotus 49, has a lot more power, and Humble specifically asked me how it felt to do a hot lap on this track, and I have to say, to be honest, I found it very, very difficult. I just wanted to explain that I probably did 15 laps in a row crashing, and I ended up having to turn things down. So by default the turbo is set to 0, but I kept it at 0, and I even went to, under the generic tab, turning the engine limiter that was set to 100, and you could rise it quite a bit, but I had to actually set it down to 76 or 73, its lowest point, just to keep the car under control. But to be fair to Humble, that's probably more about my gear. So I don't own a clutch, I have a basic wheel, so someone like Alex over at the Extra Mile could handle this car much better than I could, because I have trouble with very heavy turbo cars anyway. I can't drive those types of cars, so it's probably more about my inability to handle that with my gear than Humble's having too much power. But the thing just wanted to keep rotating because of the sheer power of this car. But I'll have a link to his video that will tell you how he created the car, and also it'll have a link to this car but with the basic skins. Now for the record, Humble, if you're watching, you have my permission to give the skin out, and to be quite honest, I'd be stupid not to, because it's only self-promotion for my channel if someone wanted my skin. So you've got permission from me, but that's purely up to you whether you want to do it or not, given that you've got, you know, it's a personal thing whether you want to or not. But now let's go for this hot lap, and I have to say the most difficult part was the banking. So when you do a hot lap, there's 2 bankings. This is the second one now because of your position when you start, and there's a particular kick that I found really difficult, and I'll describe that as we head off now. So have a listen to this awesome sound sourced from a BMW, but HumbleGeorge could tell you where it comes from. So let's head off now and have a listen to this awesome sound. All right, as I get ready for this banking. Now, when Humble drove it, it was cutting out, but what happens is when you turn the engine limiter down, you can hit the full res without the engine cutting out. That was one bonus that I had, but of course I got much less power. So what I was looking for, the second thing here, and about the second or third black line, there's the kick, and I really had to be aware that that was coming up. And also, all my markers where I brake, because it had so much power, I had to back off. So I normally brake at the first black marker, or the last black marker, and here I have to brake much earlier to get the car balanced to turn it in. See, you can feel the power. It just has so much power, it wants to kick you out. But just so much fun to drive. And here I had to brake earlier just to get the car settled for the third gear. You kind of just there, see just the sheer power. You kind of can't go too much faster anyway. And again, it'll kick out here, just trying to get that power down. It can be a lot of fun, but you really have to practice it. Now here, I could almost still take it flat out, which I usually do, but here I just lift off to get the balance, and then full power. It's just setting the car up. And again, I would brake on a particular marker, but here I would brake a little bit earlier than normal, just to get the car balanced, and here you've got to be so careful. Normally I'd have the power down by now, but here I'm just treading so lightly. Just awesome. Just this sound is incredible. But one thing I can do is I can actually take the skin, the SingleRacer skin, and apply it to the 2 other Lotuses in the game. So the Kunos Lotus and the GPL or Grand Prix Legends set of cars that come from Basil and Dr. Doom's lab as well. which I'll probably do, and do a specialised hot lap for you next in the official cars that you know, have the proper power, but just with the SingleRacer skin. So let's prepare for this banking. So there's the marker, and I'll look for it. See the second, or there it is, the second black line there. Really kicks you out as we go to cross the finish line. Now, you can probably hear how much less power I have to Humbles, but I did it in a 2057. As we parked this car, it was just awesome, but I especially love the sound of this. It just suits this Lotus down to the ground. As we have a look now, I just got to hope my sensors pick up. Look at this beautiful, beautiful black finish with the clear glass. It's got the clear glass on the outside and the purple on the inside, and I didn't even realise it was two separate bits of glasses. He put me up to that, so the air must come in there under my sensors are going a bit crazy, but the air must flow out of that and across the windscreen. And have we checked that beautiful red, the red trumpets on the motor there, just awesome, and with the green leads as we finish off now. Thank you very much, HumbleGeorge, for this awesome specialised or Humblized Special Edition SingleRacer skin. So this is Michael signing out for SingleRacer. I'll catch you next time. See you later.